Hello friends, hello everyone. We will be continuing with the programs of dictionary. We are studying dictionary part. Now this time I am going to tell you about how to concatenate with similar keys. Oh, what I am asking, similar keys? Similar keys are not possible in the dictionary, but we will make it possible. Let's see how we can create. I have taken a test list is equal to now GFG. I have taken something. Now I have taken a list 1, 5, 6, 7. This is a new thing for you. As I have taken inside the dictionary a list, comma, I will take good, and I will just write 9, 6, 2, 10. And just to close the dictionary, comma, one more thing we will take CS. Next is 4, 5, 6. Right. I will make another dictionary. Within the dictionary, here I can take another value, which is 5, 6, 7, 8. CS 5, 7, 10. Now making another list from it, I will take comma and just write GFG. Why I am taking same keys? Because we have to concatenate the values of the same key, similar keys or same key we can say. So, comma, I will take another thing, best, and the values, any values you want to take, 5, 7, just right. Now, first we will print original dictionary test underscore list. Right. Now I will take a variable temporary in which I will store this thing. Now for dict in test underscore list. Now for list in DICT dictionary, it will be if list in RES, or we can say temporary variable. Now we have to apply the formula. PEMP list should be is equal to PEMP list plus dictionary list. Now else part. Now else we will write temp list list. Now friends, what we have done here, we have done a very simple thing, that we have taken a list within the list, dictionaries within the list, and what we are doing, we are just concatenating the values with the same key values. Right? So what I have done, I have taken dictionary in test list, means an empty dictionary I have taken and run it. For list in dictionary and list in temporary variable. So if it matches, if it founds the same key, then it will be added concatenated, else it will be taken equal. Then the string form. Now let me run it for you. You save it. You get it. Sorry. Look at the values, the original value is this, concatenated value is, look at the values, we have taken 1, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, then it has concatenated all the values. So what it is done, it is concatenating, it is not equal to that equal. So friends, this is how you can concatenate two similar keys with the help of the dictionary. Now the next thing we are going to do is find some values of dictionaries with same key. Now we have to add those values. Now from here we will use operator module from operator import get. Right now I will define a key. Right, key 5. Some of the values again, and I have to take similar values, so I have to add it. That's why I am taking integer values. Now B 78 is it here, and there you can make as many as you want. A is equal to 90. This is I have made my list. Now the next step is, first I will do the original thing, original dictionary. Now str get here. Now what I have to do, I have to use loop for D in D1. Any D variable I have taken to find in the dictionary. Now for K in D1 dot keys. Now friends, here why I have implemented nested loop, because first we have to take care of the values what are provided in D, and then we have to take care of the values that are in D. So now my next step is I have to write result. Now, result is equal to result of any variable. K should be equal to result dot get. I will write here K comma 0 plus B. The value of str, because it will be fixing the values as we can show. Okay, result is not defined. I will give you this question for errors. Original directory is this, because I have not initialized anything with result. Now I can initialize the value of result with it. Now how this program works, let us understand how this program is going to work. Now from interpreter module I have imported item getter. Now d1 is equal to, I have made a list within the dictionary, so multiple lists are there, multiple dictionaries are there. I have tried just shown the original one. Then I have taken a variable in which empty dictionary is there. Now for d in any variable, d in d1 means we have to find the values of d1 for a, for b, for c. Right, now for k in d dot p is for every key. What it does, it will just calculate the sum result. Right, so the result is str result. So friends, this is how you can find out the sum of this. Now let's move on to the next program, which is merge the two dictionaries of the list. Now I will make a function called merge to do it, in which I will pass two arguments, suppose d1 comma d2, two dictionaries have been passed which has to be merged. Now what I have done, I will use update function. I will just add the values of d1 to d2, means d2 will be updated as the records. Right. Now we will use the driver code. D1 is equal to A and for D2 I will take the D, which value is 45, anything. Now what we have to do, we have to print the merge function with the values given D2. Now what will happen when this merge function is activated? It will update the D2 list with D1 list. It means all the elements, all the key value pairs of D1 and D2 are merged. Now after that, what we will do? We have to do print D2. Now let me save it and run it for you. What it will do? Merge dictionary. Just have a look. First, all the key value pairs of dictionary, all the key value pairs of dictionary are taken. Then all the key value pairs of list are taken. So friends, you must take care of these things while looking at dictionary part. So we have studied three programs: concatenate similar keys, some value dictionary keys. So friends, this is not the myth that we cannot take same keys, but if multiple lists are defined within a multiple dictionaries are defined within a list, then we can take the values. So friends, be aware about it. So in this way we have till now studied the membership dictionary function, nested how to nest dictionary, missing values, intersection of two dictionaries, method 2 methods I have told about intersection, concatenate similar keys, right? How to concatenate similar keys for dictionary tests, for list workplace, for sum of values of dictionary, because we have to take the sum of all the values of the dictionary, and how to search two dictionaries. So friends, you must take care of yourself. We will be meeting soon with another practical of dictionary, here, same place, same time, online. Thank you.
Hey guys, how's it going? So in the last video we talked about doing projects, right? So we went over the solutions of some projects. In this video what I want to talk about is dictionaries. They're very important in a lot of programming languages. In other ones, in C, C++, they might be called maps. In Python it's called a dictionary. So let's see what it is about. Okay, so essentially, the idea behind dictionaries is to map keys to values. Hopefully that defines everything, right? No, basically, that's a very cryptic definition that I gave you if you don't know what it is. It maps two things, okay? So anytime you have a relationship between two things, you want to use dictionaries. And when you don't have a relationship between two things, you want to use a list. For example, if you want to just remember a bunch of numbers and that's all you care about, you want to use a list. Okay, so for example, I only care about a bunch of numbers like this. I want to use a list. Now, what if I want to know a way where, I don't know, I use my cell phone, right? I use this thing over here, and using this thing, I can look up a person's name, and based on that person's name, it gives me back their phone number, right? Or if I type in their phone number, it kind of goes the other way around, whatever. How can we do that? Well, that's the beauty of dictionaries, my friend. So you're going to learn something very powerful today. So let's go at it. Let's say I wanted to make a phone book, right? With what we know in lists, I mean, can you think of a way how you might do it? I don't know. I mean, you could store numbers, right, like this as a string, and then store the second number as a string and go 456 22 4433, right? Something like that, whatever. These are clearly very silly numbers, but okay. And then you can say phone book and give me the 0th number, phone book, give me the first number. Also notice we're using something different for coding. We're using repl.it, right? So it's actually spelled repl.it. And the beauty of this is that it teaches you how to code while it makes it very easy for you to code. You can use this without having an actual working environment locally downloaded onto your computer. You can just run your code on the fly. And what I'm going to do for you guys is once I'm done with this session, I'm going to take this link and paste it into the YouTube description. And that way you can actually get access to these notes directly. Okay, so you'll be able to come to this link and get, for example, the link right now is this. Okay, but by the time we're done with this video, the link might be different, and I'll post the most updated link for you guys in the YouTube description. Okay, so the website is repl.it, and you can pick programming language Python for your programming language, and then just code here. Okay, so let's check out what this does. Let's make sure to add print. Let's check it out. So you can see you have 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, right? You're printing out the 0th element and then the first element of this list. That's great, but I mean, it's not really fun to remember names as numbers, right? Because you're not gonna go, oh, I'm gonna call you 0, Johnny, and I'm gonna call you 1, Bob. And then every time you have to look at Johnny's number, you're gonna type in 0 to get back Johnny's number or 1 to get Bob's number. That would be terrible. And what if you had stored hundreds of people in your list? Then it gets really complicated. But now let's use dictionaries. Here's how dictionaries work. Okay, let me describe right here in notes. Dictionaries. Okay, here's how they work. You have some dictionary. We will call it dict. Okay, and they store key value pairs. So if you put in a key, it gives you back the value. Okay, and how you store things into a dictionary is like so. Your key goes here and your value goes here. Okay, let's set a key 1, value 1. Then we can say key 2, value 2. Okay, and you can keep doing this all day. All right, now let's create a dictionary. Okay, so let's create our example phone book. So I'm going to say Kazi, which is my name, which is my last name, but I go by my last name pretty much everywhere. So we're gonna take the string Kazi as the, Kazi is the what? Is that the key or the value? If you said key, good job. And we're gonna store the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Now notice that I'm storing this as a string and not an actual number, like an integer or something. Why do you think that is? Well, think about it. If I remove the quotes from here, what is this gonna do? It's gonna do 1, 2, 3 minus 4, 5, 6 minus 7, 8, 9, 0, and I'm gonna end up getting back negative 8,223. So it's actually gonna end up storing it like this. That's not what I want. I want the exact number. So usually when you want things exactly how they are, strings are perfectly good data type to use there. And now I'm gonna say Bob, and I'm gonna store Bob's number as, okay, is this, which key is this? This is the second key, and now this is gonna be the second value. I'm gonna store his number as 222, 222, and 2222. Very easy number that Bob has. He gets tons of wrong calls, and he gets very annoyed. Now, to make it a little bit nicer on me to read this dictionary, sure, I can have it as a long one line, but as you can imagine, as we begin to store multiple people, it's going to be spilling over to the right side. So what I want to do is make it easier on my eyes and make it easier to type. So I'm going to go to the start of the line, hit enter, and Python knows what to do with it and where to put it. And I'm going to go to the start of this line and hit enter. Okay. I'm also going to go here and hit enter. And I'm going to go here and hit enter. Okay. And what this does for me is it just makes it easier for me to read. Okay. Kind of like this. And I can just simply start putting things in here. We can leave that here, there. That's not a problem. We can leave that one right up there. And I can put in another person, right? Cat, cat, cat. Let's just do cat. Call her cat. Let's say her number is 333, 33333. Okay. And now what I can do is I can do phone book. And what's the way I can get back Kazi's phone number, right? So imagine you go to your phone, your iPhone or whatever you have, and you simply swipe up or down, right? You go to your, where's contacts? How does contacts work? I go to my contacts and I type in, let's say, my name, right? So how does it find it and how does it give me back the actual number? Well, today you're going to find out the secret behind how it works. Okay, so it takes in the key or my name, Rafet Kazi, and it spits back the value associated with it. It could be my email address, it could be my phone number, it could be whatever the heck I want it to be, right? So now let's go into phone book and we can say Kazi, right? That's, you put in the key, and this whole thing liquefies and turns into the value. Okay, so that whole thing turns into one value. Okay, so let's print it out and let's see what we get, and I'll break it down how this expression works. So we got back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Phone book is just this whole dictionary starting with the squigglies, right? So phone book is this thing right there. And I'm indexing that phone book by Kazi. Okay, so as you can see, I have this list here, and I'm simply indexing it by QAZI. Okay, and once I index it, what happens here, right? Once I index it by Kazi, I just get back the value. So this whole thing liquidates into that, and then that result actually gets printed out on the screen. Okay, that's how the dictionary works. Now, let's say I wanted to make it a little bit more complicated to where each person had, you know, like their names, and each person had their own email address associated with them and whatever, right? So we can make it a little bit more interesting. For example, let's say that I wanted to add more values associated with Kazi. I don't want just his phone number, but kind of like how my phone does it, it also has Kazi's email addresses, and it also has Kazi's home address and whatever else, right? So how would I do that? Well, what I need to do is I need to have one key that gives me back multiple values associated with it. Here I have a key Kazi, I have a key Bob, and I have a key Cat. So what I need to do to Kazi, for example, is make it give me back multiple values. Well, what's a pretty darn good thing to give back multiple things? I remember, it's a list. How about a list of things? So let's turn this from a bare string to a list that contains 1, the phone number, and then we can say 2, it contains 1 email address. So we can say kazi@kazi.com. Okay, fake email address. Let's close that down there. And okay, sweet. So now we have a list containing 2 strings inside of it. The first index, it's a phone number, and then, or the 0th index rather, and then at the first index we have the email address. I can do the same thing to the other ones, but let's just play around with it and see what we get. So I'm going to change this from phone book Kazi, and I'm going to say, okay, I know that once I run this line of code, what I will get back is actually this list. This whole thing is actually going to evaluate to the value of Kazi, right? So you put in the key, look at the formula at the top, right? You put in the key and you get back the value from the other side. So I'm going to run it and let's see what we get. So you can see that we get back the value. I know that this thing is going to turn into a list. Then I have to think about how can I access different things from the list. Let's say my question to you was, can you get me Kazi's phone number? You would say, okay, I'll get you Kazi's phone number. I know that it's inside of a dictionary where the key is Kazi, where there is a key Kazi. And if I access that key Kazi, right, if I access the key, the dict, and if I access the key Kazi, I get back a list of things containing his phone number and email. Right? So you're like, now I know that I have a list of things. How can I access things inside of a list? I remember how you access things inside of a list is based on the index number, right? So for example, if I go up here, if I have to access the first element or the 0th element of a list, I would do this, and this gives me the first element of the list. Whereas for a dictionary, you would actually put in a name or something that's nice and easy to remember. In a list, you use numbers. So then you go, okay, well, I know that Kazi's email address is at position 1, right? This is index 0 and this is index 1. So if I ask you the question of get me Kazi's email address, you know that this whole expression evaluates to a list. Well, then you can just say 1, right? Just like this thing over here. And let's change that to 0th element of the list just to be very accurate. Let's hit that, and you can see that I get back Kazi's email address. Well, what if I wanted to get Kazi's phone number? I would just change this to a 0, and you can see that I got back that's the same thing. Now let's say I want to do the same thing for Bob, right? This is the phone number. This is bob@bob.com. And then we have, let's turn this into a list of things, and let's call it cat@cat.com. And we have this closing. Oh, I have to make sure that I close my quotes here, close the quotes there. Okay, great. So I have a phone book. Let's get the terminology right. Let's just practice with the terminology. It's good to say it over and over again. I don't care if I sound crazy, and you shouldn't care if you sound crazy, but understand the terminology because it's going to help you be able to research it better, understand it better, synthesize the information better, and be able to write better code ultimately because you will understand all of the data structures. Whereas if you just keep mumble and hand waving, you're going to get very confused later on. You might be able to get past some of this stuff, but then when we get into lists inside of dictionaries, inside lists of dictionaries, it's going to get very complicated. You're going to be like, oh man, I wish I learned the terminology when it was nice and easy. So let's just talk through it. I have a dictionary that contains how many keys? 3 keys. What's each key's name? Kazi, Bob, Cat. What do each of the keys contain? Each of the key contains a value, and that value is a list. Okay, good. Each key contains a value, which is a list. That's good. And how many elements does each list contain? Each list contains 2 elements, right? As we can see right here. So now if I wanted to get Cat's number, I could do Cat, and I can say 0, and I get back 333, 3333, 333. So let's give it an let's give it a run, and you can see on the right hand side, that's what I get back. Okay, so I will leave this here for you guys, and I will link you guys to the code so you guys can go and play around with this stuff as well. Okay, that's it for dictionaries, and we will get into its better use cases later on. For now, you're gonna watch Boolean Algebra Jiu-Jitsu after this video. Great job, guys. Take care. I will see you in the next video.